Jay here for Stretford Paddock, that's Joe Smith, this is Paddock Live. We're going to talk about all the latest Manchester United news, and because we're live, we need you lot, yes you, to get involved. Joe,
go on.
I've had enough of football.
No, you haven't.
I have.
It's only just getting started.
I can't, right,
Ignore
why?
Liverpool.
Why
Ignore
are we
it.
the unluckiest team in the world?
I have never
ever,
seen...
Right, who never get anything go our way, when it's like, when it could go that way or that way, and one way's good for United and the way's bad, it always goes bad. No matter how 50, whatever the 50-50 situation, whatever the rubber green, all that sort of jazz, it never goes our way. Watching the Scousers earlier, oh, that looks like it might be a red card. VAR's going to check it. Yeah. Oh, no, it isn't. He's offside by his heel, by a millimetre.
And he's running away from goal as well, by the way, so he wasn't an advantage.
And listen, I get Liverpool a lot better than us, I understand all that, but they're going to get the rub of the green to another Champions League at this rate, and that's what does me head in.
Funnily enough, the last time we were that lucky was in the same stadium against the same team. Buffon spilling it to Lukaku and the penalty at the end to win the game.
The low shot that was going into row Z.
Yeah, we had a bit of luck that night.
We did have a bit of luck, that's true.
5 years ago?
Yeah, and we've had none since.
Yeah.
I think we've more than made up for it since, haven't we?
Horrendous.
If we're being brutally honest. Yeah. It's like, it just does me head in football at the minute. We're not going to talk about the Scousers though, because I don't want to make us all clinically depressed.
Make us all sick.
Yes, although saying that, United's not exactly a topic.
Let's talk about something nice, Man United.
Yeah, but we'll get into it though, United. We've got some contract news, we've got transfer news, we've got agents running their mouths up. We've got all sorts going, chatting rhubarb, yo. So make sure you are hitting that like button. If you're not doing so already, please subscribe to the channel and please get involved in the chat. Batticus says, who cares about Liverpool? Good point, let's move on. Yep. Right, what's the first one?
What we got first? Kobbie Mainoo. Cobb sandwiched in contract talks. What?
I think you could have just done there, right? I think you literally could have just gone, corn on the Kobbie, butter me up.
Yeah.
Again, like, it would have worked.
So Cobb as in like a bread roll?
Yeah.
But from sort of works.
Cobb sandwiched in...
That's not bad. I thought it was a play on a Cobb salad at first, and I was thinking a Cobb sandwich isn't a thing. It's Cobb salad.
Oh, is it? What is in a Cobb salad?
I think it's just like a big wedge of lettuce or something. Or is it the one that's got bacon and spinach in it?
What's peach cobbler?
That's peaches with like some basically scones on it, but halfway between a scone and a crumble.
Right, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't like it.
No. Cobb sandwich in contract talks. Here we go then. Kobbie Mainoo has demanded a £180,000 a week contract in order to stay at Old Trafford. It's reported that United have held fresh talks with Mainoo to settle long-standing... Hang on a sec, what's that?
He's put butter on there.
Why has he put butter on there?
Because it's corn on the Kobbie, butter me up, or butter him up.
So now we're sponsored by butter.
I can't believe it's not butter. See, I like corn on the Kobbie, butter me up. That was my favourite ever pun, even though it didn't really make sense. No, I think you could have got away with it here. And instead, you've not done it, but then you've put butter on his chest anyway, which is kind of weird.
Do you remember when Patrick Vieira used to have the Vicks?
Yeah.
Maybe Kobbie should start putting a bit of butter there.
For what end? To what end?
Just because it's part of his brand now, isn't it?
What, like?
So butter on the Kobbie, he's already buttered up.
So he'll put his little, a knob of butter?
Maybe, perhaps he could...
Or an actual picture of butter?
Well, no, maybe somewhere between a knob of butter and a pat of butter.
Right, okay.
And then what's after that? A stick of butter.
Yeah.
You know, etc.
Okay,
maybe. Or maybe you could infuse it with a bit of garlic or something, clear the nostrils.
Maybe he could put that into his contract demands.
Yeah, I want my kit pre-garlic buttered before I step out on the pitch.
I want someone, one of the apprentices maybe, to be stood... What?
I said apprentice and nodded along with you.
Right,
I was trying to be affirmative of what you were saying, sorry.
Good.
Conversational technique, carry on.
To flick butter from a spoon onto the kit, like, before the match. That could be there. You remember how the apprentice used to clean... Apprentice. Used to clean boots.
Yeah.
Now they can put butter on.
So instead of using the butter to clean the boots like they used to, you can put it on your chest instead. Something like that. It's reported that United have held fresh talks with Mainoo to settle long-standing contract negotiations. However, reports also suggest that Mainoo's representatives are bartering for a deal with 180,000 plus bonuses.
Are we in medieval times here now? What? They're bartering for a deal? If you give me a Kobbie Mainoo contract, I'll give you these 2 turnips.
Yeah.
What are you on about? Bartering for a deal? Like it's some sort of feudal system.
Yes.
Get a grip.
That's how we do it now.
Yeah.
We meet down at the water wheel and we barter for a deal.
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Plus bonuses, 180,000 plus bonuses to align with his status as an England international. Mainoo is under contract at Old Trafford until 2027 with the option for a further 12 months. First of all, thoughts on giving him a new contract? No-brainer, yes?
I love Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah.
I've already noticed a little bit, sprinkling of discourse about, because he's not had as good a season this season, obviously his first season, like, if the money was great, is it worth it? If that makes us be able to buy this, that and the other, I think you have to keep hold of Kobbie Mainoo. It is ridiculous. We have managed to find a lad who's 18, forced his way into the Manchester United team, was the best player on the pitch in most of the games he played in, helped us win a trophy when the season was heading towards disaster, finished the season playing in the Euros final because he forced his way into the England team over the head of the likes of Conor Gallagher and Trent Alexander-Arnold, yet still managed to end up in that team. And now we're sort of debating whether we give him less than a lot of the other players are on. Now, I get it, and especially when it's worded like that, demanded 180k a week, you think he's a teenager, he shouldn't be demanding 180k a week. I understand that point of view, but if there are other England internationals at the club who are on a lot more than him, he's going to want, I wouldn't say he wants as much as them, but he's going to want somewhere near their salary. Let's say, for example, Mason Mount is on 275k a week, whatever it is. Kobbie Mainoo to be asking for 100k less than Mason Mount isn't that ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just the fact that he's only 19 and you go, hang on a minute, he's still in his second season.
Yeah.
So I even feel as though if it was like 150k a week with bonuses, I feel like that would be easier to stomach. I feel like the 180s feels a little bit excessive.
It does
I do
feel
love Kobbie Mainoo. You know my thoughts on Kobbie Mainoo.
Yeah, and that's the thing, innit? Because we're back to a position where we are paying him for what we think he will be, not necessarily what he is already, because he's only been here for a year, like you said. So 180 grand a week for someone that's, only done it for a year is one thing. But then when a new signing comes in, they've not played a single game for the club and they're coming on a lot more than that. So it's hard, isn't it? Because you're partly rewarding and partly kind of encouraging and paying him for what you think he'll become within those 5 years. In 5 years' time, 180 grand a week might be an absolute bargain. But let's say somehow it doesn't quite work with him and Amorim, and you don't know, anything can happen to any player, even though I think he's one of the most talented youngsters I've ever seen at United. Anything can happen to anyone. If he's not playing at all for United in 2 years, 180 grand a week will be a waste of money.
Yeah.
I just think that's unlikely, but yeah, probably somewhere between 130 and 180, that kind of ballpark.
Yeah,
it's not many less than that,
I think you'd expect him to be on over 100 grand. If you play for United every week, which he will be if he's fit, but you have to be be a little bit more careful with it. You can't just go, okay, give him whatever he wants. I think there has to be a bit of back and throw, a bit of bartering, as these people would say. And also, for Mainoo's point of view, he's probably been in the United first team. It's weird situations. He's been in the United first team for what? I know he's injured now, but for over a year. And he's probably been the lowest paid player in the squad. Because when he got into that first team, what is he, 18?
Yeah.
I bet he was, I don't know what he's on now, but I bet he's not on a lot in terms of what the rest of them are on. He's probably on about, I'm guessing, 40 grand or something a week, when he's got teammates. Like Casemiro's probably on 9 times what he's on.
Yeah.
And he plays far more minutes than Casemiro. I get that Casemiro came from Real Madrid and is a superstar and all the rest of it. So it is a weird situation for Kobbie Mainoo, but I feel like that as a starting point from his camp, because it won't be him in the negotiations, that'll be his agent. That as a starting point, I understand it.
Yeah.
It comes down a little bit. I think you get to a point where you go, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I just don't like some of the discourse I'm seeing around him where people are having a dig at him because, well, he's there to get paid as well. I know he's a United player and we all went, well, if I played for United, I'd do it for nothing, but he don't have to do it for nothing.
No.
And also, a lot of his teammates will be getting far more than he is, playing far less, so that's okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get into some of the comments before we move in. FPL Frost says, I'd rather have 80 million towards buying Cole Palmer, for example. There's only the only slight flaw with that is, we ain't going to get Cole Palmer. I don't know if you get 80 million for Kobbie Mainoo, and if you do, I don't think you just go, right, I'd have 80 million, put that towards Cole Palmer, and Chelsea go, yeah, sound. He's on a 9-year contract, isn't he, Cole Palmer? I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon.
No.
And I know Cole Palmer's a United fan, but so is Kobbie Mainoo. So I don't think it's going to be like, well, I'll come. Because
I don't think what he's saying there is an option. Any part of that is an option, to be honest.
I don't either.
No.
Like, it's just, that's not going to happen. DRZ says 100k plus plays in a win bonus should be fine, really. Maybe there's something there. I think the old school wages were all about win bonuses and stuff like that. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
And there might be stuff about Champions League qualification and all that, because I know a lot of the contracts have got down by as much as like 25%, aren't they, when we're not in the Champions League?
Yeah.
So again, you know, the Daily Mail, as any newspaper, would want to publish the kind of the most inflammatory, exciting version of the figure. So 180 grand a week is probably not the base level. That's probably what he earns if United are in the Champions League and X, Y, and Z, and he plays X amount of games. I know there'd be bonuses on top of that if you win stuff, but you know, I think somewhere around there is about right, isn't it? It's never going to be on 60 grand a week. That would be absurd. And anything above 200, I think, is a little bit a step too far for what he's done so far. But yeah, makes sense. And I think keep him. Definitely keep him as well, like you said, Jay. We need something to enjoy and to build around.
Did you know what I've noticed? There's a serious dearth of, even, I know people don't like to talk about, but even like marketable players at the minute, players that the fans love. A few years ago, my kids had like quite a few players they loved. There was like, my lad was obsessed with Ronaldo. My daughter loved, my youngest used to love Mason Greenwood. Obviously, that stopped.
Of course.
But like then Cavani was another one they all loved. Like there was a few players.
Well, Rashford's been
Rashford was another one where they were loved. Yeah. Bruno was one they all loved. And now
you said Pogba, didn't you? Or no?
No, that's probably a little bit earlier.
Yeah,
but when he was in his pomp for United, that was probably a little bit more. I think for the ones I remember are Cavani, Greenwood, Rashford and Bruno are the four. And now Mainoo's the one.
Yeah.
They all sort of, they both. Well, Garnacho was another one for a bit, but now it's like Mainoo. Obviously, he's not having the best season, but what he did in the cup final, the fact he's like, he's so young and exciting, he's come through. We haven't got many though. No. It's not like, and I'm not just saying my kids are the sample size for everything, but think about it. How many stars have United got at a minute where you go, yeah, we all love them? We've got good young players. I'm not saying we haven't, but
Maguire, Bruno, that's it. Mainoo.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, yeah. They're the only shirt sellers you've got.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's it.
You can't get a Maguire.
You can't.
Maguire 5, you have to have that printed at home.
Yeah.
You can get a Ugarte and a Mainoo and rearrange the letters and you can make your own Maguire, but they won't sell you one because they've just run out of that format. It's unbelievable. Should we move on to our next story then? What we got next? Come on, Ethan. Portuguese, only 30 million euros?
That's good.
Portuguese, only 30 million euros?
His delivery made that for
Blimey! Anyway, United are prepared to test Sporting's resolve with a €30 million, £25 million bid in the summer. According to Sky journalist Sasha Tavoleri, the Red Devils have set their sights on Sporting CP prodigy Geovany Quenda.
Kicking the gaff about.
I'm not doing that. Who is seen as an ideal... Sorry, I kicked the light over. Seen as an ideal fit for Amorim's system. United are reportedly in contact with the players' representatives, but could face competition from Arsenal, who are also interested in his services. At just 17, he's established himself as a key player in the first team, featuring 41 times across all competitions, whilst returning 2 goals and 7, count them, 7 assists. Now that's according to Sky Sports /Sports View.
There definitely seems to be a lot of fire to this smoke, doesn't there?
Yeah.
Looks like Amorim really wants him. Looks like it's a doable deal. Looks like the figures aren't too excessive that even a skin Manchester United, if we get rid of Jadon Sancho, which looks done, maybe Marcus Rashford goes out on a permanent deal, 1 or 2 other players off the wage bill, potentially Geovany Quenda can come in and do the business. Obviously, it worries me slightly that Arsenal are interested in him as well. But I like this deal. I think we need another wing back, don't we?
Yeah.
Dalot, I worry about him because he's having a bad season. Dorgu, we've only seen a few games. I know he got sent off in one of them, but you can see why he's in the team. I know it's mental.
Yeah, it is.
I know when you say it out loud.
He's one of our best players,
and he's played 3 games and been sent off in.
He was part of a absolutely comical, shambolic mix-up with Onana and got sent off.
He's been sent off in like 33% of his United games,
and
he's still like he's probably. I reckon he's ranked 4th on Player of the Year for United this season.
It's Bruno, Ahmad, me, him. Genuinely.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Honestly, I do. I think it is insane, but this is where we're at. Get him in. It's so right. Do you remember when Pep Guardiola took over at Sir? And he was like, first season, I think they finished 3rd on it or whatever. And they were all right, but they got battered 4-0 off Everton, didn't win out, and everyone was like, And then I think that summer he went out and he was like, he didn't go big in the transfer window at first. It was like then he started going big and he was like, the fullbacks and the defence he wanted to sort out. I feel like there's an element of that with Amorim where, because of the system he wants to play, if you can get the right wing backs in, that's going to massively help him. Yeah. Because you've seen it every week, you talk about it all the time. So watching us against Fulham, and you can see how many times what we're trying to do doesn't work.
No.
Because we just haven't got those players for the system that he wants to. You can see he wants the players to do it. There was a time when Ahmad seems to do it.
The closest thing we've got is Ahmad.
Ahmad did it, but then it was like, well, we need him in the 10 because no one else is scoring. So that meant you had to move him out of there. Yeah. And then there was another time when it looked like, okay, maybe Delo is going to be that guy. But he's not in this system. He's just not. It's not working out for him. Maybe he can fix it, but other than the performance at Anfield, I don't think he's really shone this season at all, Diogo Dalot. But Dorgu, you can see, fits into this system. Yeah. Get this kid in. Hopefully that'll, help us move up from fucking 14th.
And as long as it's not, because I saw some places reporting up to like 40 or 50, 60 million euros. And I think that's too much. For me, that would be a worry. But I think if it's like 40 million quid or less, I think, if it starts with a 3, he's not going to have all the weight of the world on his shoulders. It's not going to be some 80 million or 50 million, 60 million, 36 million or whatever, 45 million euros, whatever it may be. Something in that ballpark is livable for everyone. It means we've got some money left over. It means that Sporting get a decent fee, and it means that you're not going to hear the fee associated every time someone speaks about this kid, because he's only 17. Has he turned 18? He's 17. He's very raw, like as anyone would be at that age. And I just think, I don't want someone coming in 50 million, 60 million, and you're going, well, you better do it now. Dorgu is going to get a lot longer to prove himself without being sort of ridiculed and criticised than an Antony or a Wan-Bissaka or a Maguire. You know what I mean? Just not making a silly fee out of a player that doesn't sort of warrant it. But if it can be somewhere in this ballpark, probably more than that, 40 million euros, 45 million euros, I think he'd be a really good signing personally.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not seeing loads of the kid, but people that have watched him have spoken very highly of him because of all the things you've mentioned there. I mean, yeah, we've got to get someone like him in, and well, not someone like him, just get him. Yeah. Seriously, and also back this manager, man. Do you know what I mean? Don't get him his 3rd or 4th choice. Get him his 1st choice. If he's saying, I want a player who's costing you 25 million quid, who I've worked with, who I gave his debut to, who I know fits into this system that I've been trying to implement for the last 6 months, get him. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? That's part of the reason we've struggled at times. Not always, but sometimes managers have had to compromise, or they haven't got the player they want. Here's one who's very gettable, who's perfect for this system.
Do you want to know something as well? I know it's obviously you can go back and rewrite anything, but if Ten Hag that first season had got, if we had have got Frankie de Jong, let's say, and we'd have got Antony for 40 million euros instead, it'd still be here now. Undoubtedly for me. Like, I think the Antony transfer was such a huge problem for Ten Hag's whole tenure at United, and that's what started this storyline of you can't buy Dutch players, or players from the Dutch league or whatever. Like, I know he did buy a lot of former players and stuff, but the Antony one being such an obvious failure from 3-4 months into that deal, people were like, something's not right here. That was such a problem for him, and then obviously the waste of money that Casemiro became. I think if we get this right, you do need help. You do need people who know the system. Look at every single successful manager ever. They all bring former players with them to their new clubs. That's not a new thing. That has happened throughout football history all the time. If he's the guy and we're not spending crazy, embarrassing money on him, like Lisandro Martinez, I know he was 45 million quid, 54 million, whatever it was. It's a lot of money, but you don't hear his fee talked about all the time. No. Antony, everyone knows 86 million quid. Everyone knows that. It's like a fee drilled in, like Maguire, everyone knows he cost 80 million quid. These numbers get drilled into your head. If you can keep it sort of reasonable, you need people who know his system. That's not new. We shouldn't avoid that because a couple of signings under Ten Hag didn't work out. That has happened in football history. We need to get someone who knows how he wants to actually play.
Also, as well, I don't want to labour the point too much because I agree with everything you're saying, but like, if all of a sudden you're going into next season and you've got Quenda who's 17, you've got Yoro who's a kid, you've got players like De Ligt's still 25, is he 25, 26, Yagate's 25, Mainoo's 19.
Yagate's 24.
24, sorry. Yeah. Mainoo's 19, Dorgu's 20. Yeah. Diallo's, Ahmad, sorry, is 22.
23.
Obviously, you look at it, you go, okay, you've got like a core group here. Plus, maybe next season as well. Cheeto's maybe ready to get some more minutes. Heaven's ready to play a bit of a more prominent part.
Yeah.
You look at, you've got a core group of players there who are probably in and around the first team, who are under 23, 24 years old. Then it gives you a bit of hope and expectation, doesn't it, moving forward over the next season or two. If most of your team are like 30, 29 and shit, then you don't go, well, in 3 years we'll be all right. Based on what?
Yeah.
Everyone getting worse.
Yeah. I know it's obviously Arsenal haven't got to the point where they're actually winning stuff, so this may be a slightly poor analogy, but they have tried to do what we're trying to do. They've gone 20 years without a title, or 20 years without a title challenge, really.
Yeah.
You know, I know they finished second, didn't they, the year Leicester won the league, but it was between Leicester and Tottenham
until Spurs just did that to finish third in a 2-horse race.
Yeah. But they did the same thing where they cleared out the old players, and their average age of their team was one of the youngest in the league last couple of seasons. And again, they've not quite been able to push on, but I think that we have to follow a similar model to that. Because having a team full of, like you said, 28, 29-year-olds with a 35-year-old striker like we have had over the last few years, it might get you higher up the league for now, but we were never going to win the league after that first season with Zlatan when you thought, his knee's done. He's done then. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like one injury to a Ronaldo or a Zlatan or whoever it may be, their whole career at United is finished and you have to start again. This guy, we've got potentially 15 years of him. Do you know what I mean? Like we do need younger players, and we need to rebuild with players who are good. We just, as I keep saying, I just want a bit of quality in there, someone who's a little bit proven as well, probably in that number 9 area. Someone who can at least like put a bit of the team on his shoulders in certain games and kind of drag you to a win. Because I like, players like Dorgu and Quenda and Heaven and Cheeto, but if in a big game, like look at Liverpool tonight, I don't see youngsters being able to kind of grab a game and win it for you. Do you know what I mean? You need a bit of experience in there just for that kind of moment.
Because it's like, I know Javier got the winner, but they've got all those players on. And also, you've brought on, I think, was it like Nunes set him up as well? He was like 100 million. I know
like Casemiro in the Carabao. Like,
you need a bit of that as
There's an extra thing that comes with being there, done that. So that would be my only thing. But again, if we have to sacrifice that for a proper team...
Go back to Arsenal, what you make a point, like, Arsenal are sort of mixing up a bit more this season, haven't they, with Miles Lewis-Kelly and Ethan Maguire's come in. Those two have been a absolute godsend for him, haven't they?
Yeah.
I know, obviously, Lewis-Kelly got sent off the other week, but they've done well for them. They've been a breath of fresh air, and it's like, actually, when the season struggled a little bit, these are two players who, 17, 6, I think they're both 17, 18 or something, come in and done a job. So if you get players like him in, and then, like you say, if we can get a striker for him with a bit of experience, a bit of pedigree, maybe we can get up to 12 next season.
I'd love 12. I'd absolutely take 12.
Mint.
I'd take it.
Yeah.
What we got next? Antony, where you speak to me like that. I think we need Ethan to say that.
Ethan, go on, say it.
Antony, where you speak to me like that.
That's very good.
Come here.
No.
Come on.
Look at the t-shirt as well.
I love Greg's. Where's Ethan?
Come on, Ethan.
Producer Ethan. If you don't know him, he's our resident Geordie.
You've charmed yourself into an appearance.
He said it really well. You've got to have him with all that passion and enthusiasm.
Come on then.
Have we got my single? Someone there?
His singlet.
Right, it's your time to shine. Go on, son.
Antony, where you speak to me like that.
That's Ethan after 2 pints.
Oh, mate, he's acing it.
He is, yeah. Hey. Thanks, Ethan.
Well done,
Cheers for that, Ethan.
Well done, Ethan. Great stuff. Hey.
Thank you. Ethan walked in front of my camera and you couldn't even see him on it. I don't know what that tells you about his height and my height, but he literally walked under it. It was looking at me and you couldn't even see his hair.
That's class.
Right, let me read that. Antony, I'm reading that. In an interview with Marca, Antony's agent has criticised Amorim and claims he has devalued La Liga. How can he devalue a league he's not even set foot in? What are you talking about? In February, Amorim said, Antony is so much better now in Spain. It's because of a lot of factors, but I guarantee you it's physicality. Antony's agent, Junior Pedroso, has hit back. He said, the truth is that Antony has not had enough prominence or the confidence necessary to play his best football. Of the 15 games in which Amorim managed United, he used Antony in just 9, with a total of 252 minutes played. Wow, he came with his facts, didn't he? Bloody hell. Stat heavy. How can you judge an athlete without a minimum sequence to provide his worth? This highlights that the problem was not the physicality, but the context and the way he was managed in Manchester, Many players who do not prosper at United find success at other clubs, which leads us to wonder if the problem really lies with the players. This guy has come full Rob Kardashian to this fucking interview, hasn't he? He's pacing around like a lawyer here. And I suppose that may happen to lead the jury to wonder if it is not the league. And in fact, it is Manchester United that are guilty. What is this?
He can fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, seriously.
I agree. You're the judge there.
Like, honestly.
Fuck off.
Who is he? Mino Raiola. He's coming in, started running his mouth up because his clients had a few good games. He's still a Manchester United player.
Yes.
So shut up. Right, stop going on. Stop digging out the manager. He had 252 minutes. It's not a lot, but in those 252 minutes, he didn't do much under Ruben Amorim. Certainly none of us were going, he needs to start Antony. He needs to give Antony more minutes. Let's not forget the manager that paid 80 odd million quid for him gave him enough opportunities and then decided to fucking drop him completely. I don't think he got any minutes in the FA Cup final, which tells you its own story. So I get you sticking up for your client and all that. You don't need to come out and bash the Manchester United manager and have a go at him and have a go at the club. It just fucking does me head in. We used to see all this shit all the time with Mino Raiola and Pogba, and it's like, he's not Paul Pogba and he's not Mino Raiola. It's just a player that was underperforming massively at Manchester United, who's gone to Real Betis and obviously he's smashing it, fair play to the kid, and I hope he does really well and we get some dough for him. But to come out and start going on and on at the manager is completely unnecessary. You don't need to do that. There's no like, oh, you're trying to get your man the move, or you're trying to stick up for him or whatever. There's just, shut up.
Yeah, and also he's literally like turned up with his homework in his hand. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's talking about the number of games, the number of appearances, the number of minutes. Like, it's not some off-the-cuff thing. That's about as premeditated as it gets.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I just think, just shut up. He's still a Manchester United player. And there's no option to buy on this deal either, by the way, or certainly no obligation to buy. So Antony and Man United are going to have to reunite at the end of this season, and probably, almost certainly, Ruben Amorim will be the manager for that. So why are we coming out and doing, like, just say how good it is. It was a difficult time at United. There's a lot of factors at play. I think Ruben Amorim, but we want to move on and we want to play well here and prove ourselves. Why does he have to say any more than that?
I just wish, like, I'm glad we don't, but I just wish sometimes, like, we could be like full Fergie. But Fergie just cancelled the loan. Yeah. He would have done. He would have found a way.
Brought him back.
Yeah. Just set him in the reserves. There, so you can ask your agent why that's happened. Yeah. That sort of thing. Like, just fucking shut up. Yeah. So yeah, I just don't like. Enjoy the fact you're playing well, and just stop. Don't cause any dramas for anyone. Yeah. That's the overriding factor. Let's not forget as well. There was a lot of stuff going on around Antony that wasn't great as well. It wasn't like it was all sunshine and rainbows when he was in Manchester, and it was just he wasn't getting enough of an opportunity. It wasn't working out for him. He's gone. It is now. Enjoy it, and hopefully we get some dough for the kid.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I'm just looking at some of the comments. Alan says, glad he's doing well. He can leave for us for sure, or so he can leave for sure. Green Banana says, Antony was the worst player in a bad team, says it all. Although some people don't agree. Diaz says, spot on by the agent. Now get us our money back, okay? Yeah, okay. So FPL Frost says, Antony won't fetch more than 30 million in any scenario. Maybe not.
Probably not.
We'll see.
Yeah. Right. Let's move on. What we got next? Trafford and that. Oh no, you need to read this one.
Trafford and sorry, start again. Trafford and that.
That's nice, isn't it? Do you get it?
Trafford and that.
Again.
Trafford and that.
Again.
Trafford and that. 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 Trafford and that.
I could enjoy this all night.
Trafford and that. Right, thank you.
Unbelievable. United are looking to sign a new goalkeeper in the summer, but it's not a move directly related to Onana's form before anyone gets any ideas.
Right.
Okay, we spent 50 million on a keeper and we want to replace him, but that's nothing to do with how he's playing. We would have wanted this guy who's already been sold for 20 million quid 2 years ago anyway. It's having two number ones. Remember at Arsenal? Ramsdale's always playing for them still, isn't he?
We are so shit. I hate it.
It's honestly not directly related to Onana's form.
We just get
I would have signed him anyway, probably.
City rejects. Yes. 4 years after they've left City. Yeah. We overpay for him. They come here, they do fuck all, and then they move on.
True.
I want to say they, I mean Jadon Sancho.
Yeah. Let's read this out.
And we've been linked with Liam Delap.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Let's read this out. Despite being 28 now, the Cameroon international believes... Oh, we're not.
Why's that funny?
Yeah, what are you laughing at? Despite being 28 now, the Cameroon international believes that he can still improve under Ruben Amorim, who is still in the process of fully assessing him.
You've gone full daytime TV.
However, United have shown a lot of interest in the Burnley goalkeeper.
Human interest story.
James Trafford. The 22-year-old is one of the best young English goalkeepers and has kept 24 clean sheets in the Championship as Burnley aim to win automatic promotion to the Premier League. Trafford would be open to a move to United with the belief that he could become the number one goalkeeper over time, but Newcastle United are very serious suitors and are probably the front runners for his signature as it stands. That's from Team Talk.
I feel like you're going to say, coming up next, we'll be chatting to two twin sisters.
It is fast approaching 10:37 here, and we are talking about Trafford at Trafford and that. What do you make of him? He was the one that went to Burnley for like 26 million quid or 20 million quid.
20 million quid after playing a few games for Bolton.
He'd only ever played in League One and they managed to get 20 million quid for him. Now, as time goes on, that deal is looking more and more like a fair price. So obviously they knew something that I didn't. However, he only went there like 18 months ago. It wasn't long ago at all. So you'd probably be looking at, he's probably got 4 years left on his deal. You're probably looking at 30, 40, maybe 50 million. I don't know what they'd want for him, but it's not going to be cheap because they spent a lot on him themselves. What do you make of this?
Not a fan, to be honest with you. He's, a good young goalkeeper. He's done well this season at Burnley. Yeah. I'm not saying it was his fault he got relegated. I didn't think he was. I think they were well off it anyway. But it feels like a bit of a gamble again. Like, I don't think Onana's got much of a future at United. I don't know where it fits in terms of priorities, replacing the goalkeeper. It's probably not top of my list, if I'm being honest. Probably about 3 or 4 positions before we get to the goalkeeper. Yeah. I'd probably look to move Onana on, I think maybe one more season, and then in the summer, if he's not kicked on, the following summer, then move him on. Same. I just don't know if a 22-year-old goalkeeper at United is going to work. It worries me a little bit. I know people, De Gea was 20 when he arrived or whatever it was, but De Gea came into a team that had Vidic and Rio Ferdinand and Patrice Evra and Wes Brown in front of him or whatever it was.
You know something else with De Gea?
Yeah.
That first season he had, if he'd have had that in today's environment, there's a chance he never goes on to be 2014, 2015, 2016 David De Gea.
Bro, because remember Anders Lindegaard was being rotated with him. Yeah. There was like rumours that Fergie preferred Lindegaard at one point. And remember Fergie actually calling out De Gea after a game once, saying he's got to do better, which is very rare for Fergie to publicly criticise a player. So you're right, it's a great point. Listen, he might be amazing. He might be the future England number one or whatever. He might be the greatest goalkeeper ever seen. I just worry about bringing a 22-year-old. You're going to have to spend a bit of dough on him into this environment. Yes, Onana is underperforming. And in an ideal world, we'd move him on because I think he's probably past the point of no return in terms of whether he's good enough. I just feel like because we've got other sort of issues elsewhere, we might have to deal with the goalkeeper situation a little bit further down the line. But I don't know. Trafford, a 22-year-old goalkeeper who's had, what is it, 1 season in the Premier League where he got relegated, wouldn't be top of my list personally. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I do tend to agree. And also, like we said before, you're going to be spending at least 30, 40 million quid on him, which again puts him up there in the top 10 kind of most expensive goalkeepers ever.
I know,
maybe not quite up there, but it's a lot.
I can just imagine him dropping a clanger and City fans just loving it. I don't know. I mean,
City fans would absolutely love it.
Maybe just me.
Fail at United, yeah.
Alan says we have other areas to focus on first, but next summer, as Jay said. Brennan Keenan says City will get money from the sale. J8 says Tom Eaton can still do his job.
Where is he?
Tom Eaton's injured.
They've never announced his injury, have they? We're just to assume that he's injured.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think he is. Well, he's not in the squad today, so he must be.
Well, there you
go.
I
think for the game tomorrow, we've taken 18, including 3 goalkeepers. So we're going to have 7 on the bench, obviously, and 2 of those are going to be goalkeepers. He's not taking his full quota again. Like, he's not. Is it 22 you can take? Not sure. And he's not taking that. He's not going. We're not going to have a full bench.
You can have more than usual in Europe.
Yeah, he's not. We're not going to have a full bench basically. So
mad, isn't it?
And I think so. If there's 7 on the bench.
Yeah.
And how many subs can you make? 5.
Plus a 6th if it goes to extra time, which it can't, obviously.
It's, 2 legs or whatever. So that's it, innit? You've basically got your 5 subs.
Yeah. picked for you.
Yeah, because you're not going to swap your goalkeeper unless something happens to Onana, but it's Harry Maguire.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just dire straits at the minute, innit?
Right, and finally, I think, what we got in Spain without the S. I hate
You've
this.
added tears, haven't you?
I hate that.
No.
Sad frown,
You have?
sad face.
Don't say no.
Cut to the full screen.
It's his birthday as well, I didn't realise.
This is Harry Maguire's birthday today.
32.
Didn't get him a cake or anything. Happy birthday.
Happy
in a way.
birthday. Your mate, Harry Maguire, isn't it?
Well, no. I've defended him a bit down the years.
Yeah.
But I do think he's had unfair stick.
Yeah.
Again, another player that if he was playing somewhere else for less money, he wouldn't be getting anywhere near the amount of criticism.
You're right. If we'd have paid 40 million quid for him, there'd be no way he gets all this. Why has he got tears
Well, actually, when you think about
photoshopped into his eyes?
he actually might be a unique case. I'm just putting this together now, so forgive me if I've got this wrong. In terms of, he didn't play in the Euros final, did he? Because he didn't go. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
So he got to a Euros final,
Yeah.
a World Cup, 2 World Cup semi-finals,
No, a quarter final and a semi.
quarter-final and semi-final, and has played like 80 odd games for Man United for England.
Yeah.
Which is like probably again top 20 maybe all time.
Yeah.
Is certainly very high. There's no one else in that category I think that has had as much stick as him during that era, when he's like one of the first names on the team sheet for one of the most successful England teams other than the one in '66.
Yeah.
And yet he's been like, for some of that, like a laughing stock almost in terms of his reputation. It is a mad kind of dichotomy of who he is as a player. Like some of the things he's achieved, and yet some of his sort of the public opinion on him is almost unique, isn't it? I can't think of another example that's like that, really.
It's the perfect storm, though, for getting abuse.
Yeah.
Because most England fans hate United anyway.
Yeah,
they hate United, and a lot of United fans don't care about England. And it's not like it's like, oh, loads of England fans, United fans, they're not.
Yeah.
So you've got you've always had that Beckham and
Yeah.
the effigy, and Phil Neville getting death threats, even Rooney getting abuse, Rashford getting racist abuse. Like it's always been like United stand up if you hate Man U and all that fucking idiocy. So you've got all that, right? So he gets stick there. Then you've got the fact that he cost 80 million quid. For his club, he's not lived up to that, so that adds to it, even though it's got nothing to do with what he's doing for his country.
Yeah.
It just sort of, it feels a bit like the media as well haven't really got behind him when they could have done, haven't really circled the wagons, because they've wanted someone to have a go at times, and it's like, oh, let's have a go at Harry Maguire because he cost 80 million quid, he's at United aren't doing well, and da-da-da. So it is a little bit unfortunate, yeah. Go on, what are you looking at?
Have you lowered his ears as well, or is that just...
No.
Shit, no, they haven't.
Why have you, what is this?
I thought they'd lowered his ears and
Made
all.
his mouth a bit more sad.
Made his mouth sad.
What's this?
Just put a bit of dubbing.
Like Tipex
Just
in his
put
eyes.
a bit of dubbing in his eyes.
Why have you put white in his eyes there?
His tears.
Is that what your tears look like?
Pure white, yeah.
Yeah.
Don't, what's that about? Sometimes you have to get pseudocreme. Maybe he's got conjunctivitis.
Right, okay, we've given Harry Maguire conjunctivitis.
Should we read this now, shall we? Basically, him and Ugarte are injured. We'll go into more detail on the preview tomorrow, but it is slightly gutting, isn't it? I got the Sky Sports, I'm just going to, forgive me for going on my phone because I want to read them out. Sky Sports did a graphic earlier of all the United players who are injured.
Go on.
So you've got Amad Diallo with the ankle ligament injury. You've got Kobbie Mainoo with a knock. Lissandro Martinez with his ACL, he's out for the year. Then Harry Maguire, another one. Mamo Ugarte, Mason Mount, Luke Shaw, Johnny Evans, Altay Bendir and Tom Heaton. And when you look at the top sort of 5 or 6 of them, would they be starting if they were fit? Amad, undoubtedly. Kobbie, yes. Lissandro, yes. Harry Maguire, probably. Manuel Ugarte, yes. Mason Mount probably would, I think, in this system. And Luke Shaw, if he was fully fit, Luke Shaw definitely starts for Man United. That's 7 starters that aren't playing. I know Luke Shaw's never been available, so we almost pretend like it don't matter. But you think he's actually one of our most talented players, and 7 starters are out at the moment. And we're not even speaking about like an injury crisis. That's horrendous. And we're going to have to try and win a game against a team that's probably better than us in Real Sociedad with 7 starting players out. It's not good at all, is it really?
No, it isn't. You're right, my brother. It is a bit of a nonsense. I'll get through some of the comments before we wrap up. FPL Frost says, lol, that image is hilarious. Adam Kenny says, Maguire gets England abuse because of his association with us losers. 19 Mooney says, get him in likes.
That was actually from super bad.
It doesn't it? Glenn says, evening lads, hope you're looking forward to tomorrow's game and a win or draw, please. What are you two saying about this? Preview that in the morning. I'm feeling a bit more confident than Joseph is, let's put it that way.
Harsh.
Yeah.
In the game, yeah. I thought you just meant it myself.
Yeah, no. And what else have we got? Martin says he's playing at his level, 14th in the league. He'd do a job for West Ham or Wolves, but not good enough for a team with our ambitions. Comparing with top 4 defenders, he's nowhere near them. See, this is part of the problem with E.G. Virgil van Dijk. That's
Maguire.
the issue. Yeah, that's the issue though.
Fuck off. He was our captain when we finished second. What are you about? He's not good enough for top 4.
People say comparing with Van Dijk, right? People argue Van Dijk is the best Premier League defender ever, and I don't think he is. I think Stam and Rio and Vidic are all better than him. But comparing with Van Dijk, comparing with someone who lots of people claim is the best Premier League defender ever.
Yeah.
Like that's.
Yeah, he's obviously not as good as.
He's not as good as him.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean you're shit. That's like saying, oh well, if you're not as good as Wayne Rooney, then you're rubbish.
Yeah.
Well, no, because
he's better than most of the players that have been playing next to Van Dijk for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
And they've been finishing top 4 for almost all that. Like, it's all just. Yeah, I get it.
You're right,
not
it's the 80 million.
Come on.
Because people look at 80 million when that's 5 million more than Liverpool played for Van Dijk. You better be better than him, otherwise it's wasting money. Fuck off. That's unnerving. Anyway, happy birthday.
Happy birthday. 32 years old today.
Like that. Coming out.
Naughty.
Right. We're going to wrap it up there. We're going to be back. The preview will be out in the morning. Myself and Joseph previewing the Sociedad game. Yes, I. Also, then it'll be me, Joe, and McCullough. Don't forget, though,
go on.
For the watch along tomorrow, you can be part of it. Get your phones out, film yourself in landscape for 30 seconds, giving us your score predictions, and send it to paddockmatchday@gmail.com. And then we will use that as part of our pre-match build-up for the watch along. Send it in, man. Come on, we've had some good videos being sent in recently.
Fantastic.
Yeah, and then who knows, maybe you can join us on the preview or on the watch along and all that. Joe, always a pleasure, never a chore. Go and check him out at Slob Joe's podcast. You know where to find me. That's been Joe, I'm Jay. This has been Paddock Live. Don't forget to hit like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.